Right, hi guys, we're back on the channel with Scott and David, and we're going to chat more generally about Celtic. David, brilliant kind of chunk since the last international break. 6 wins, only that draw against Livingston, the only real black mark there in at all. Really obvious signs that this team has found its rhythm. I think we're contenders to win the league now. I think we've shown that over the last few games, and I don't always think that was a given with this Celtic team, but I just think the way we're playing that we have to be considered as, potential league winners this year.
No, they're answering a lot of questions, Hamish. They really are. They were a penalty kick away from winning every single game in this block. Really impressive. I think we were on after the last break. I think you were asked us how many points we'd take. I think it would have genuinely surprised us if we said 6 wins and a draw out the 7 games. I would have honestly expected maybe 1 or 2 more slip-ups in that, especially with the fixtures that we had. Some of them have been really, really difficult. Away to Hibs, for example, what a statement of intent that was. I know it was followed up by a draw against Livingston, and I do believe there's still questions to be asked about how they break down these heavy defensive blocks. But it's so exciting, Hamish. I'm really enjoying watching them. That's such a far cry from last year. They're a great watch. They're entertaining. They've got such an exciting front three. They've got a defence which I think's growing together. And I think Ange is having to obviously throw about some different partnerships just now. It'll be interesting to see if he changes that again when Chris Julian comes back. But they're all getting used to each other, I think. And you can see a chemistry and a bit of bonding between them. They all seem to be there for each other. I think you could see that with the scenes at Dens Park. Outside of the Livingston game, it couldn't have gone any more successfully. So credit to the manager, credit to the players. And we've gained 2 points in Rangers since the last break. So I'm happy.
Yeah, you mentioned a month ago that I asked both of you on one of these videos, what do we want to see over the next 7 games and where do we want Celtic to be at this very stage? Let's just have a wee reminder of what you guys had to say. Right, guys, where do you want Celtic to be after the next international, at the next international break, the next 7
games?
Top of
the league, to be honest.
Top of the league.
Take advantage of any slip-ups Rangers have, and I think there might be 1 or 2, hopefully. Take advantage of everything we can over these next 7 games. That's what I want us to be doing.
I'd like them to be within 1 game of Rangers after these games. That would be an achievement within itself, just to be in touch and distance. So the closer you come to that game at Celtic Park against them, you're only that 1 game off them, whether it be 2 points, 3 points. You're only that 1 game psychologically going into that game. You're right back in business. If you can win that one. So that's really the aim. I think, to just try and get back into touch and distance, or keep in distance within that time.
Just put some pressure on them, Hamish. They're 6 points clear without playing their best stuff, Rangers, this season. So they're 6 points clear us anyway. Let's get right behind them and see how they cope with a bit of pressure on them.
You get the same jumper on, David, as you did a month ago.
I know, you think I hadn't changed it. No, it's a different one. That one was black. I think this is a bit more a dark brown. Is that the first takeaway you've got for that? I was going to say it looks as if we've done most of our work there. I think we've batted away some of the competition that was above us in the league, but we didn't quite meet Scott's expectation of 1 game away for Rangers. So what do you make it, Scott?
Look, I still am buoyed by the performances where we're at. Obviously Rangers have picked up some decent results themselves in the last couple, so they're starting to find a little bit of form, particularly in front of goal. And look, there's no question you've got to just keep consistent up to the next Celtic Rangers game. It's as simple as that. And again, I still stand by, if we can be in that 1 game bracket, hopefully it's less than 3 points. I'd like, if it was 2 points to go top of the league, we'll play that game. If you win it, I think then going into that winter break, psychologically, it's massive. And all the negative media will be coming out of Ibrox rather than at Celtic Park, and that's not what you want going into that 3-week break. Being away and chasing, Rangers, you want to be on top at that point. And building pressure and heaping on them to turn it around, basically. So there's still a lot of hard work to be done between now and that Christmas period. We always know that the Christmas period in my time was always that very, very vital period leading up to that New Year's Day game. That you were in good form, that obviously you want to be top of the league and you want to be in, points ahead, and then go and really, stick the knife in come that, the New Year's Day game.
Scott, there's always a lot of emphasis put in the Christmas period, and it does seem to be a time of the year where points are dropped. Why is that, in your opinion, considering October's hardly, been a walk in the park? November's been absolutely mobbed with games as well. So December's going to be the same. Why is it around that period we start to see the points being dropped more?
I think because they come really thick and fast, particularly that back end of December. There's a lot more league games. I know there's a lot of games in October and November, as you say, but it's league games, isn't it? It's one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So the pressure builds and mounts, particularly because you never play at the same time. So psychologically, one plays before the other one. And it's important that if you're the one playing first, you win to really heap the pressure on who's playing second. Particularly, usually the ones playing second is always the one that's playing away from home. Usually, if you don't have European competition, that's how it used to work out anyway. You would play early or you'd play on a Saturday, and then the opposition, Rangers would play on a Sunday or vice versa. So if you're that one playing first, you've always psychologically got to get ahead and try or catch. So you're playing cat and mouse all the time. And that's what makes it so intriguing and interesting. And when you win leagues like this, they're so enjoyable for the players and for the fans as well, because you go through that cat and mouse period throughout the season. And it's not till near the end where it comes crunch time that you realise if you're going to win it or not. So, there's been times in recent times, particularly for a lot of Celtic fans, where that's not been the case. It's been easy streets, winning titles with 5, 6, 7 games to go. So, even unfortunately, COVID kicked in the last time when it was really, really tight. Celtic won the title. So this one, this time round, if you're to win it and it's tight, I think it would be a big deal for everyone, particularly trying to bounce back from, obviously the disappointment of last year as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the league, and I think we all believe that Celtic can be top by the winter break. I think that's achievable from this Celtic team, the way we're playing, and given the fixtures that Rangers have that we've touched on in the past. What about the League Cup though, guys? Because I wanted to touch on that because Celtic, before the winter break, Celtic could win their first trophy under Ange. We're 2 games away from doing it. Our first game back after the international break is at Hampden against St Johnstone. Brendan Rodgers spoke, when he was manager of the club, about that first trophy, the League Cup trophy, every season being so important because it gave the players a tangible reward for the efforts they'd put in at the start of the season, through the summer and autumn and early winter. Scott, when you played the League Cup final was, at a different time of the year. It was in March. But did you ever, put a lot of importance on winning that first trophy? Does it make a big difference?
I think you want to win them all. I don't really think it matters first or the last one. I think they all mean the same. It is interesting now, though, that obviously League Cup finals played a lot earlier than when I was playing. It allows you to enjoy midway through, which is great, reset, refocus and go again. You talk about when we won it, it was totally different. From a psychological perspective, we thought we'd buried them. We thought we've just beaten the League Cup final. We're ahead X amount of points in the league. There's no way they can recover from this. But there's always a chance. So, it doesn't matter. Like, we could talk about psychological factors of it and winning something and building confidence from that. That goes away and you have to start again. You have to keep going with the process. And I think we know Ange is a type of character. But we'll be doing well to get a smile out of him. Let's put it that way. If he does win the League Cup, it was nice to see him celebrate with the fans on the weekend. Though I loved it. In terms of showing some passion. He's a very passionate man, but he does well to keep it in it. A lot of the time. So he'll be desperate for that trophy. Don't get me wrong. I think for more than anyone, I'd be super pleased for Ange to get his first trophy at the club and just make him feel. Obviously, Celtic fans have talked to him now, but it's a statement of intent to go, right, well, he's the real deal, isn't he? He's won a trophy because it took someone else quite a long time to win one, across the road. So, for him to win one, the first one that's available to him, that's massive. It's huge, and it gains confidence from the supporters as well and everyone at the football club if you can do it.
Yeah, I'm assuming the players as well, David, would, a new group of Celtic players with so many players who haven't won a trophy at Celtic yet. It would be absolutely massive if we did manage to win the semi-final and the final.
Yeah, I can't see a bunch of new players coming into the club that haven't played in Scotland before think to themselves, well, it's only the League Cup, I don't care about it. I've never understood that thought process anyway, whether you're a player or a supporter. It means so much to me as a supporter. It's the first part of the treble. Martin O'Neill as well was one that spoke about how important it was to win the CIS Cup as it was back then. And, if we lose to St Johnstone, Hamish, you watch how important that game all of a sudden becomes, because there'll be, hell to pay from the media and the supporters after losing it. We're all great at saying it's not a very important competition in the pre-match build-up and even after you've won a game in it. But when you lose it, that same spotlight comes onto the club, and it creates a negative atmosphere, I'm sure, around the place. I think it'd be huge for Ange to go to Hampden in his first trip there as Celtic manager and get a win, get himself to his first final. I think that would be fantastic. And it's an important competition. Just make no mistake about it. I don't think so much in the sense that because if he wins it, it then sends out a statement that we're favourites or anything like that for the league. Because you could slip up your next league game and all of a sudden the cup final's forgotten about. It's the nature of the beast at Celtic. But I think if he was to win, like Scott says, a trophy within 4 or 5 months of coming to the club, wow, that would be fantastic for him, considering where we were in the summer. So yeah, another massive game for him, and fingers crossed we get a result. It won't be easy.
How are we feeling about facing Scotland's greatest knockout side then in 10 days or so? Saints not lost a domestic cup match since March 2020, 15 games without defeat for them in both competitions. They obviously won the Scottish Cup and the League Cup last season. That's including the group stage of the League Cup, by the way, that record. Their last defeat was actually against us just prior to the COVID layoff in the Scottish Cup. Scott, how do Hampden games differ to normal Celtic matches in terms of preparation for them?
I think there's always that air of excitement to do it. It's changed again since my time. You never hit the hallowed turf until you played in the final. In fact, no, I'm telling a lie, actually, because we actually did play a semi-final, didn't we?
Midweek, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was midweek.
Those days.
Game, though, which was, it was a bit flat. It was always a flat game when you played that game because it was midweek. But, yeah, look, there's an air of excitement, and because it's a special place, where you go to win things. And there's the expectation when you go there as a Celtic player as well. Pitch always feels massive as well. And it's going to be a tough game. They're going to make it difficult for you. A lot of times, you actually play with a different ball within the League Cup, oddly. I know that's a bit something
left field. Do you notice it?
Yeah, you do actually. Because it's not really one that you've spent too much time with. So back in the day when we were playing, it was like a Diodora thing. And it was like one of those ones you bought for the garage, one that just moves around, and it was horrible, So it was just different. It's a different variable sometimes unsettle you a little bit, but again, it's the same for both teams, isn't it? Really, but I suppose you can have points and excuses about all different things. But look, I'm pretty confident with Celtic playing at Hampden Park against St Johnstone, the way that Ange wants to play, it's going to suit their style massively. Pitch is going to be beautiful, hopefully, and they're going to use that width at Hampden Park as well, and it could be an enjoyable one for Celtic on the day, I think, because look, Saints have been great in the two cups this year, but I think their form this year hasn't been great, so there's no question Celtic are favourites, aren't they? Because let's be real, if Celtic don't win this cup, then there's going to be negativity around it. So it's up to Celtic to do the business and get over the line.
Favourite Hampden memory, just briefly, Scott, from your playing days?
Well, it has to be obviously when we won the League Cup against Rangers. We talked about
you and McGeady running about with your arms kind of over each other. Amazing.
It was obviously a great day, and I said, the only horrible thing was that I was one of the guys to get drug tested after the game and got pulled before I even got into the changing room. I couldn't even get in the changing room to celebrate with my team after the game. It was so frustrating. The drug test guy didn't know what hit him that day, I don't think, from me and Gary Caldwell. He got absolute abuse. It's usually the referee and everyone else, but he got it that day for not allowing us to even go in there, which was a bit of a shame and wrong, really, because they're the moments you live for, spending those moments. And you see now the cameras are in there and everyone's celebrating. It's pretty special time. But yeah, that probably goes down as my best Hampden moment, realistically.
Fabulous. David, any worries about this game just as we wrap it up?
Nothing beyond the norm, really. They're a good team, St Johnstone. They've had a great cup record. We know what they've done over the last year, but like Scott says, it's Celtic we're talking about. If they turn up and force their playing style in the match, then there shouldn't really be any different than 1-1, and that should be Celtic. It really should. So I'm confident, and I think as long as we have a good international break, which we haven't really spoken about, hopefully injury-free like the last one, we should be fine.
Yeah. It's going to be tough though, St Johnstone. Their cup record, a lot of it with no fans in the ground, but it could be a difficult one. 5:30 on a Saturday evening, so I think it will be the opposite of flat for this semi-final. You're going to have Hampden pretty much packed, a lot of bevy consumed, I think, in the lead up to the game from fans, so it should be a cracker. Guys, thanks so much once again for joining me for this video. I'm getting a few days off now for good behaviour, so we're going to take a wee break on the channel. I will be back on Monday. Obviously international breaks are a bit of a quiet time, so it's a good time to kind of take a few days off, and when we come back early next week, we will build ahead properly to that St Johnstone game. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment, a wee like as well, and we will speak to you soon.